Hello everyone, my name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about The Truth About Invasive Species, written by Alan Burdick. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Now, in this work by Alan Burdick, you really have to pay attention when you're reading it. You really have to focus on what he's saying it. You also need to do some research when you're reading this essay. It doesn't require it, but I feel like you need to do a little bit of research to research what biomes are, how biomes work, and how species coexist with one another, and how ecosystem works. Because in order to understand what Alan Burdick is saying in this essay, you kind of have to understand that a little bit. Do some research if you're reading this yourself, and you will get it even more, and it will make more sense to you. There is some scientific, there just is some scientific, you need some scientific understanding to understand what this essay is talking about. It's not a narrative, it's not a story, it's really saying something about ecosystems and how they work scientifically, and just how nature works in general. This essay, Alan Burdick kind of begins it in Florida, and he talks about how it's kind of crazy. I really don't know what's going on in Florida. I'm in Connecticut, so I don't know what's going on up in Florida. But Florida is a very interesting state. So here's what I'm trying to talk about. Florida is just a state where there is Florida men. And you hear a lot about Florida men on the news. They're always, getting into some hijinks. So Florida men are always interesting to me. And now to add to this, Florida just, it has the highest level of just weird creatures or just people just making their own zoos. I don't know who is having a boa constrictor next to a mountain lion, next to some sort of weird animal from Australia. Or some weird fish from Australia, but Florida is the place. It has the largest market in the United States for just foreign animals, and people are just buying them, stockpiling them in their basement, and just going crazy with these foreign animals. And Alan Burdick really goes into detail about this. For me, it's kind of funny because you're just this description of how you're getting snakes, mountain lions, bears, lions, oh my, you're getting all types of different crazy animals, and it's just, there's some animals are escaping and going on into the highway. Pest control is making a lot of money because they have to be trained, they have to be trained to handle these exotic animals because they might die. And so, it gets expensive, but people are buying them, people are keeping them, people are keeping their own zoos, they're selling them on the black market. And the thing is, Alan Burdick is saying that you're getting all these foreign species and the nature in Florida is changing. Now, what he's trying to say throughout this essay, and what, it might be hard to understand because you really have to read in between the line. He's kind of saying that, foreign species do not destroy ecosystems. They do not destroy biomes. They do not just destroy everything and just exist to themselves. What he's saying is kind of like a sum that a lot of times what happens is when an invasive species joins an ecosystem, they add to it. They become a part of it. Yes, they do attack a portion of animals in it, and maybe they become at the top of the food chain, but it's really rare that you see an invasive species come in and completely destroy the entire thing. Now, there are some exceptions. Sometimes an invasive species comes in and just completely annihilates a population of certain animals, and sometimes they don't. And that's literally nature. Nature is like that. Darwin told us, and Darwin explained to us that it's the survival of the fittest. The strongest survive, the smartest survive, the best survive. And so when a new king comes into a ecosystem, when a new dominant animal or species comes into an ecosystem, it might pretty much destroy a part of that ecosystem and kill a specific set of animals, but it's going to become a part of that and join it in with other animals that survive its arrival. the truth about invasive species, what Alan Burdick is trying to say is that they're not, when they come into ecosystems, they're not most of the time. There are exceptions. Most of the time, they don't totally entirely destroy it. They become a part of it. They thrive in it. They stay in it. And sometimes there's no damage at all. Alan Burdick, this essay can get quite confusing sometimes because there's a lot of examples. Sometimes you don't know where it's going because you kind of have to understand the science, right? You have to understand the science behind it. It's not just a normal narrative. So do some research while you're reading it. Figure out what a biome is, how animals work in a biome, how animals are in an ecosystem. And it'll make more sense to you. But when Alan Burdick wrote, he really ropes in different ecosystems, different biomes around the world, in the United States and other parts of the world, in Britain and all that, and all different types of countries. So you get a wide picture of what happens when a foreign creature comes into an ecosystem. Sometimes they kill a specific set of animals, and sometimes they don't, and sometimes they just become a part of it and they just grow. The thing that's not going to happen is that the animal's going to come in and destroy the entire biome, the entire ecosystem. That is quite rare to see. Maybe it's possible, but what Alan Burdick is kind of saying in this, it's pretty much not possible. So the thing is that, and the truth about invasive species, in the essay, the other thing that Alan Burdick is kind of saying is that human beings, when we look at nature, when we see an animal coming in, we always feel like they're going to destroy the way things are. We always feel like they're bothering us. And the thing is, like, oftentimes what happens is we stop thinking ourselves apart. We start thinking, the human race, we don't think about us being a part of nature. We think of ourselves being higher than nature. We think that we are more intelligent and that we're not animals, right? We believe that we are not animals, that we are conscious, that we are smarter than them, faster than them. We can use tools. And so we feel like we're just on the planet, but we are not part of the ecosystem of the planet. But the thing is, we are a part of nature. Animals, we are at the top of the food chain. Human beings, we are at the top of the food chain. Like, we say that the lion is the king of, is the king of the wild, is the king of the jungle. We're just saying that just to be nice. But when it comes down to it, human beings are the king of the planet, okay? Human beings are the king of the planet. If we wanted to kill all the lions on Earth, we would do it in a pinch. How many pretty much machine guns do you need to kill lions? So humankind's just pretty much wins it. A lion's not that frightening when you have nuclear weapons and weapons of mass destruction and massive guns. So human beings pretty much rule the planet, and animals have to literally follow what we say. And so a lot of animals, what they do is they survive, right? They learn how to adapt, they learn how to survive, they learn how to coexist with us. You can just see that how the rats of New York just live in paradise. No other animal have thrived on human activity than rats and cockroaches, because just look at New York. It is rat heaven. Ratatouille would just love New York. Pretty much that's what Alan Burdick is saying. Look at humankind, where we have been on the planet. Yes, a lot of species have died. Yes, a lot of ecosystems have been altered by human behavior, but they haven't totally and utterly been eradicated. They still exist. Alan Burdick kind of end the essay by saying that yes, we've destroyed forests. It's completely possible for human beings to destroy a forest, but an ecosystem, that's really hard to do. We've tried to kill several animals. The human race, we've been trying to kill cockroaches forever. We have different types of, sprays, chemicals. I feel like we've tried to even shoot cockroaches. No matter what, you name it. We've tried to get rid of cockroaches so much. No matter what we do, they're still on the planet, and they've outnumbered us no matter what. Animals are always going to be around. Species are always going to be around. There are always going to be invasive species. We bring them in pretty much because Florida, it's all of, pretty much Florida men bringing them in and selling them on the black market, or just creating their own zoos. So Florida is a great example of ecosystem just they're just thriving. They're not going anywhere. So the truth about invasive species by Alan Burdick is that there are exceptions to this, but when invading species come in, they bother the human race sometimes because, I mean, if you have a boa constrictor under your porch, it's not fun. If you have an anaconda somewhere in your house, it's not fun. They can be annoying to us. They can be bothersome to us. They can change ecosystems, but they're not going to eradicate it. They're not going to get rid of it. That's what the essay is pretty much talking about. And that's pretty much it. In terms of analysis, in terms of a deeper meaning, this is not really a narrative. It's really an essay, it's proving a point. Alan Burdick is trying to make a point here, and he builds it really well. He shows you different ecosystems. He shows you different examples. He shows you the exceptions. Yes, animals, some species don't survive when invading species come in, when alien species come in. Some animals just die away, but that's survival of the fittest. The survival of the fittest, Darwin told us that, and that happens. But all in all, interesting essay, just shows you how powerful human beings are, how powerful the human race is. We are the king of the planet, and we tell animals what to do, but they have done a great job at surviving, at staying alive, at keeping the ecosystem going. And you better believe it, we as human beings, we are a part of that ecosystem, and we are at the top of the food chain. So that is my summary. That's all I have to say about this essay. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Very important, very important. Share this with your friends. Let people know about this channel. Let them know that these summaries are coming, and they're coming fast. So that's pretty much it. That's all, folks, and I'll see you in my next video.